Y ahora sí arranca la segunda parte del programa, así arranca el Es Esto, la fábrica del día de hoy, esta sección en donde repensamos, redefinimos, reanalizamos todo lo que tiene que ver con la industria de la música, esta industria de la música que hace un puñadito de años nada más precisaba de barcos, de aviones que distribuyan de un lado para el otro del planeta Tierra diferentes tipos de materias primas referidas al arte, desde un cuadro hasta un guión de cine, hasta un guión de teatro, hasta vestuario, y ni hablar de música, discos y lo que sea, ni hablar de las bandas que tenían que viajar de acá para allá para hacerse conocidas. Todas esas cosas han cambiado en un puñadito de años, y para hablar de todas esas revoluciones para adelante, para atrás, para arriba y para abajo y para el medio, nos nutrimos de diferentes diálogos, ya sea productores musicales, esto, lo otro, y músicos, muchos músicos, como estamos hoy hablando con los amigos de TERAMAZE desde Australia. Hi, my friend, are you listening me good?
I'm here, man. I can hear you guys perfectly.
Excellent. What time is that?
It is 12:45 in the morning.
Excellent.
From
Sunday.
Sí, of tomorrow.
Yeah, Sunday, that's right.
Excelente.
Yeah, tomorrow.
No hagamos la de siempre, Raúl, del futuro, no caigamos en esa.
Está bien, está bien. No, simplemente, Manu is now in Argentina, and I'm in Barcelona, and you're in Australia. It's crazy for us to meet you. So, thanks for your time, for your impeccable band. The sound, everything is incredible. So we are live.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
We are going to start with the interview. We are live, and I'm going to make a little translation for the Spanish listeners. So please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
My name is Nathan Peachy. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm 30 years old.
30, okay. Estamos hablando con Nathan desde Australia, tiene 30 años. And can you tell us which is your first memory of you listening to music?
Oh gosh, my first memory. That's a hard one. I've never been asked that before. The earliest memory that's coming to mind now is I'm sitting on the couch as a kid in my mum's house, and she would put on her CDs while she would clean the house. And I believe the first artist that comes to mind is her Tracy Chapman CDs. So she would listen to Tracy Chapman when I was a kid, and that was some of the songs I learnt to sing and play on guitar as I got older, because that was something my mum loved to listen to. So wow. Yeah, like a bit old Tracy Chapman.
Tracy Chapman, Fast Car, for example. Fast Car, nice, beautiful.
Fast Car, beautiful. All those classics, she loved them.
Sí, muy bueno. Bueno, nos estaba contando su primer recuerdo escuchando música, es él sentadito en un sofá, la madre limpiando, y bueno, la madre ponía música cuando estaba limpiando, y había uno de sus recuerdos es Tracy Chapman, que también aprendió a tocarlo. And we are making this kind of questions because we want to know how does the music came to your house. It was through radio, through TV. How was that?
Well, I listened to my first experience with sort of listening to music was when I was about 2 years old. My mum would put on the movie The Lion King, and she would just put that on repeat over and over. So, and I believe Elton John was one of the main composers for The Lion King, so I would listen to him quite a lot. But usually it was through movies and also through CDs. Not much radio when I was younger, because where I lived, we were out in the middle of nowhere. So I grew up in the country. So we would just be listening to CDs, videos. Everything was through a medium. So didn't get a lot of radio time when I was young. But when I got older, obviously, I got more exposed to radio and other stuff like that. So pop music became a big part of my listening experience as I got older.
And how about the Australian music?
I didn't listen to a lot of Australian artists, which is surprising, being from Australia. I much preferred music from overseas, and obviously, like I said, I listen to a lot of music from movies and stuff like that, which is something that I know we do put a lot of that kind of music in our music as in TERAMAZE. So we do try and implement a lot of pop, but also a lot of movie style moments that sort of have a bit more impact, add a lot more grandiose kind of feelings to it. But yeah, Australian music only unless we're like playing with other bands or any sort of bigger artists have come up and done well overseas. I don't really know a lot of local homegrown Australian music. It's kind of hard to find something in our genre specifically that I enjoy particularly. I definitely find that a lot easier overseas. Yeah.
I think I have a lot of friends that are in progressive music, and I think that this is my personal opinion, that you like movies because it's more theatrical, no? Maybe that's
yes.
why. And it's the progressive
definitely.
Music and theater. They are. One of my best friends. He was the singer of the Lion King opera. And he's on in Argentina, and he's on a progressive band that the name is Fugu. Maybe then we can send you the link. And they have a really theatrical way of expression. That is impressive.
Oh, beautiful. I've always. Well, when I grew up, when I was going through high school, I did theater and drama as a kid. So I grew up with theatrical music as a kid, so I loved all that stuff. Big time. And I was really into musical theater, and I did a few things outside of school as like extracurricular activities where I'd go to other cities and do big theater pieces as well and act and sing. So that was something I really, really enjoyed before I obviously got into my progressive metal stage.
You can know the people that study drama or theater because the way they act in the stage, you move around all the stage. You complete the stage. That is a really different way of being like the singer, only stand up, The people that studied drama and that kind of things moves all around the stage, and that is really a big difference. Sí, es terrible,
yeah, Manu. Definitely, big time.
Bueno, lo que nos estaba contando, aparte que él no escucha mucha música de Australia, escucha mucha música de afuera y también está muy metido en todo lo que es el soundtrack de películas que le gusta. Y también nos contaba, yo le decía que es mucho, los que escuchan música progresiva están muy metidos en la cosa de teatro, y él nos decía que estudió drama y teatro en el colegio, y también una de las cosas que le decía que se mueven diferentes. Manu, los cantantes que estudiaron teatro ocupan todo el escenario, es súper diferente y se nota un montón, ¿Alguna pregunta o sigo?
Sí.
Dale, voy para adelante. Can you tell us which was your first instrument and which was the first song that you learned?
The first instrument I learned might surprise you. The first instrument I learned to play was the drums. Yeah, so in early high school, I think I guess you guys call it middle school. I was in music class, and I started playing drums because it was the only instrument that no one knew how to play. So I learned how to play it, so I could fill in a space when we're doing class. And I actually got pretty good at it, and I started joining other friends' bands and stuff to, I was the only person who could play drums, so that was something I got into and I enjoyed a lot. But then I obviously eventually picked up a guitar, and I started playing guitar and learning songs, and I started singing to those songs, and that was it. I just went, this felt so much more like I was bringing more of myself out instead of that. And then I started basically just learning cover songs on my acoustic guitar and then singing them. And then I just started singing. I had a friend who knew how to play piano, and I'm still friends with him to this day. We started a band, and I started singing. He would play piano, and then we started getting into progressive metal. Obviously, we listened to Dream Theater, and then other bands like Band and Blast, Symphony X. And that was sort of it. That was the thing that got me into progressive metal, and started singing like those big artists and the biggest vocalists in that kind of realm of the music world. And yeah, I didn't go back after that. That was it.
and which was the first concert that you went?
The first what? Sorry.
Concert that you went. The first show, music.
Oh, the first concert I went to. Oh goodness me, what was it? I believe the first concert I ever went to was, you guys heard of a thing called Blues Fest?
No, it's in Australia.
Yeah, so we have this really big festival once or twice a year called Blues Fest, and it's for sort of roots music, blues music, funk music. My aunties took me. Okay. They took me to this massive festival, and it was over 3 days, and it had pissed down rain the day before it started, so we called it Mud Fest. There was so much mud, it was horrible, but it was really, really fun because we went and saw all these really cool artists. I didn't know any of them because I was listening to metal at the time, but yeah, that was a big one. That was so much fun, actually. Wow. Lots and lots of mud is what I remember.
And blues music. Nice.
Yeah, bueno, good.
Nos estaba contando que la primera vez que fue un show fue con su tía, que lo llevó al Blues Fest, que es un festival muy importante de blues de 3 días, que se hace una vez por año ahí en Australia, y bueno, fue su primera experiencia. How did TERAMAZE project begin, and why you put that name?
Okay, so TERAMAZE began when I was about 2 years old, so the band's been around for a really long time. It began when Dean was 17 at the time, and him and his friends just were jamming these songs together and making all this music when they were in high school. And I believe the name came from an alteration, because the name originally used to be Terror, as in like Terror. It used to be TERAMAZE. And then they changed the name when Dean and the rest of the band started getting in touch with their faith. So they moved it to a TERA, which meant terraformer, so more about the earth and connecting with the spirit. So TERAMAZE then became the name for the band.
Ahí está, muy bueno. Ahí empieza a tomar forma. Bueno, él dice que está hace 2 años en la banda, que no estuvo en el principio, bueno, pero que uno de los guitarristas alrededor de los 10.
Raúl dijo que cuando arrancó la banda él tenía 2 años.
Ahí está, sí, perdón, al revés, sí, que la banda son, ahí está, perdón, gracias, thank you Manu, he's helping me with the translation, sí, porque bueno, sí, la banda tiene un montón de años, ya tiene, el primer disco fue en el 95, y bueno, que en el secundario arrancaron 2 amigos, uno tocando la guitarra, bueno, y empezaron, y el primer disco, bueno, lo sacaron en el 95 y él era súper joven.
You released Doxology in 95. You still playing any song of that disc today in this time or not?
I don't think so. It was a very long time ago. Very different style from the band. So that was
the question.
yeah. So that was very old school thrash metal, whereas now the band's in a very different stage of its development now. But I mean, we did put a song on Dalla Volta from Tears to Dust, which was the next studio album after Doxology. So we do touch the older stuff, but very rarely. So most of the time, because between Tears to Dust and Anadonia there was a 12-year gap, and Dean basically stopped the band altogether and was doing pop music. He was doing songwriting for pop during that time. And he never thought about bringing the band back ever. So when he started the band up again, Anadonia sort of became almost a brand new, sort of fresh start. So Anadonia for us feels like the very first TERAMAZE album, whereas the other 2 feels like it's from another time. But we do connect with those albums from time to time. Like we just did a recent album, Dalla Volta, before Eli dropped. We did a sort of a retrospective album, and we redid Shadows, which was off Tears to Dust. We called it Shadows 2, and I had my vocals on it. We brought back the drummer from that album to play on the new version, and his name's Tony. Absolutely beautiful man, really nice guy. We got him to play on that song because he played on the previous one all those years ago, which was really cool. And yeah, so we do from time to time go back, but yeah, it's every now and then, very rarely. But I reckon we'll probably do it one more time, but we'll see.
Okay. Perfect. Perfecto. Bien, Manu, la pregunta todo. Bueno, ahí nos estaba dando el historial de la banda. O sea, bueno, ellos tienen el primer disco que habían hablado, Doxology, en 1995. Era casi otra banda, era otro tipo de género. Dice que era más trashero. Por eso le hizo la pregunta a Manu. Y después, bueno, sacaron otro disco.
Es la gorra, no soy yo, es la gorra.
Es la gorra.
La gorra me manda esta pregunta.
Exactamente. Tira para un lado. Y bueno, nos dice que sacaron varios discos y que hubo un parate de la banda de 12 años más o menos, en donde Dean, uno de los miembros más importantes, se puso a escribir, fue songwriter para canciones pop. O sea, terrible lo que debe ser de producir. I think that your production time is really hard, or not? To produce your songs and that kind of things. Can you tell us something about your composition process?
Sure. Well, I mean, every song has its own sort of journey to how it gets to the end of it. So some songs we could write in a couple of hours and we just have it, it's done, we're there, we got it. So some songs are that fast. And then some other songs take weeks of work, re-edits, restructures, fights, arguments, like, punching each other in the street kind of,
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets like that.
That is a band.
That is a band. I mean, exactly, that's right. So that's just, sometimes it happens like that. But then there's some songs that just come out and they're like that. It's done in a day, and everything in between. So like it's kind of hard to. We basically TERAMAZE. One of the things that we focus on is making sure that the song gets what it needs. Egos aside, it's not about us, it's about the song. So if for some reason, Dean and I will share lead vocals from time to time. For instance, if Dean sings a chorus and his voice sounds better for that chorus, I pull aside and let him sing it. Well, not let him sing it. You know what I mean? It's what's best for the song. It's not like we're taking authority or control, or we don't let ourselves get upset or hurt by it. It's all about what's best for the song. So our egos don't get in the way of writing good music. And I think that's something that each band member understands during the writing process, is this best for the song or is this best for me? And that's when we start to realize, okay, no, that's just me trying to take that section. It's like, no. That's what's best for the song is what sounds best. And if we agree on all of that, that's sort of how we build to a final product in composition time.
Nice.
And that's something we all enjoy. It's our most favorite part of being in a band, is turning nothing into beautiful music. So we work really hard to make sure that if it's what's best for the song, then that's what we need to do.
Perfect. No, I'm going to translate, and then I have a really difficult question, because bueno, lo que nos estaba contando es que el proceso de composición que tienen ellos se basan en lo que sienten que es mejor para la canción. Dice que, por ejemplo, hay veces que Dan y él se cambian las voces, uno hace coros y otro tiene la voz principal, y van a lo que la canción necesita. Hay canciones que la terminan en 8 horas, hay canciones que tardan semanas en terminarlo, pero más que nada se fijan lo que es necesario para la canción, que es lo que está primero y lo que todos entienden, pese a que hay discusiones y hay peleas por cómo terminarlos, pero su producto final es la canción, y es a lo que van ellos. I have a personal question, because I'm a musician, but I work in logistics, you know? Logistics is move this box from here to here. It's simple. But I always love the music, the abstract part, you know? Because I think that you have a mix of taste and inspiration, no? Because you say what is better to the song. There are songs that are punk songs, not for you, no? And there are more complicated songs. Where does your inspiration comes from, and how do you fight about the taste, you know, in making each song?
Yeah. Well, I grew up, I mean, Dean and I have very similar taste, which is why I think we blend. Yeah, so we blend really well because we have very similar tastes. But the thing that we do clash on is I listen to a lot more pop. He listened to a lot more metal growing up. And I guess that's a good blend because that's sort of what we do in our band. Like, he's very good at writing strong riffs. Yeah, that's where the cross is. So like TERAMAZE has got a lot of pop influences as well as it's got a lot of metal influence as well. But he grew up listening to a lot more metal than I did. I sort of listened to a lot more country. I was more of a pure prog listener. So I listened to a lot more different styles of prog than Dean did. He sort of listened to Dream Theater, and that was his sort of big prog influence. I mean, it's hard because Dream Theater are the pinnacle of that sort of traditional classical pioneer prog. But I branched out. I listened to a whole bunch of stuff, and that was something that I really, really enjoyed. But eventually, when we sort of met and joined the band, and I joined the band to become part of the songwriting team and the front man for the band, I think what changed the band's sound was we added a lot. We pulled back on the metal. Like, for instance, my first album with the band was for Halo, and that was my debut album. I'd never done an album before in my life until we did that one. And I think what changed was we added an element of prog that I don't think TERAMAZE ever had before. So it was more theatrical, it was more grand, and not as intently based on the heaviness of the riffs, because the singing was different. So we had to change the sort of the way we approached songs simply because of the way I sang songs. And that was just what was best for the songs. It's like we have a new singer, the vocals aren't as, obviously the previous singer was Brett Raricura, so he had a very sort of distinct sound in his voice, whereas mine's a lot more softer and cleaner, but obviously more theatrical. So we just used that to our advantage and wrote something that was more conceptual. And that was sort of the first time we leaned to sort of a concept album that was based in fantasy instead of reality. And that gave us a lot more room to move story-wise and add elements to something that didn't exist before, which was really, really fun. And that's why we've always kept coming back to her Halo experience and bringing different like parts of the story together, which is why Eli was such a fun experience, because we brought a new part to the story where we go back before her Halo to tell the story before her Halo, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think those are the elements of TERAMAZE that have definitely changed, and that's because of what Dean and I bring to the table when we intersect and write songs together as part of our,
perfect.
As our collaboration.
And similar tastes.
Yeah. So definitely similar tastes, big time.
Ahí está.
But the hardest things about listening and being influenced by music like Dream Theater is that you will never meet any woman, That's the hardest thing,
Depende. No?
Not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
No, it depends. No. I have a lot of friends that are in progressive music, and you're different.
They are all men.
Sí, no, pero Manu, los Fugu son amigos míos. We are always fighting about progressive music with Manu, because one of my best friends is from progressive music, and he's really weird person, but we're in a good way, And no, but what you are saying, you live on a fantasy. The people that are
yes.
progressive, you live on a fantasy, and you make things that are from nowhere live, and that is incredible.
Oh well, that's where that's what hooked me with progressive metal. It told a story better than any genre, and this is something that Dean and I both agree on. With progressive metal, we believe that progressive metal, in our eyes, is the ability to be a band that does whatever we want musically.
Exactly.
And to compose things as like in a complete broad way, and touch any genre we like as musicians, and allow it to be as it is without having to stick to a box. Whereas other bands stick to a box that they have to sit in, and that may be okay for them. But allowing us the freedom It's freedom. That's what it is. Progressive metal is freedom.
It's like a personal question because you have the lucky thing that your first language, your language is English. It's really hard to make progressive music in Spanish. It's really hard. It's really hard. I think Manu, el rock progresivo en español. We are fighting again with Manu. Sorry for that. But Manu, el rock progresivo en español es horrible. No está bueno. No es bueno.
I'm sure that Spanish sounds like a beautiful language. I'm sure there's a way to weave that into progressive metal somewhere. I mean, there would be a way to do it. I'm sure.
Raúl is a bass player.
I'm a bass player.
Okay.
No say that. Pero ahí está.
A lot of auditions.
Muy bien, Nathan. Muy bien. Thanks for that, Nathan.
No problem. Of course.
Pero es un problema también el idioma para el rock progresivo. Manu, yo le decía, pensá que Fugu no puede tocar en fiestas porque cantan en inglés. Entonces, por ejemplo, la fiesta del 25 de mayo, vamos a festejar a Argentina y van y cantan en inglés, tienen ese tipo de problemas. O sea, no es complicado, no es tan fácil. Pero sí lo que dice Nathan es verdad que la apertura que tienen, o sea, para mezclar cualquier tipo de género es muy bueno. I'm saying to Manu that I agree with you that the progressive can involve any genre. And that is nice to write. And that is nice. Perfect. We are going to close the interview. I really like to talk because I think that progressive musicians have a big head. You know, we can speak about everything.
There's a lot going. There's a lot going on up here.
Yes, exactly. Muy bueno. Two more questions. Some weeks ago, you released an acoustic version of Esoteric Symbolism. How was the recording process of that? And why you choose to make an acoustic version?
Well, we just started we started playing around on an acoustic in the studio, and we're like, far out, man, fans would love this. Let's just make a few of them. So we're actually doing a full album of them. So we've been releasing an acoustic song every Friday for the last month basically the last month. Wow. And just a couple of days ago, yesterday, we released Her Halo acoustic version on all platforms. We'll eventually release a full album. It's just something basically we just wanted to do like a campfire version of all of our like songs and find the ones that fit best for that style. And because we have so many songs to pick from, it was really easy to find good songs to sort of make into an acoustic version. Yeah, so when so Dean and I would spend maybe a couple of hours in the studio, record one, and then Dean would mix it, and that's another song ready. It's not very hard for us because the songs we've already done. So it's just a matter of doing the production, and they don't take very long to get done. So it's just something that we find almost a relaxing TERAMAZE release, I suppose, something to do in between albums, you know, because we're a very hard-working band. We release lots of music, so it was just something to do, I guess. But yeah, we're glad the fans really enjoyed it, and just trying different things with promotion and trying to figure out ways to increase people to listen to it, things like that. But yeah, it's just something fun to do, I guess. Just something we enjoy. We love releasing music. We love the fans' reactions to it. So we try to do as much as we can.
Ahí está. Bueno, ahí está otra de las cosas que le pasa. Esa sí es una diferencia de TERAMAZE con los otros grupos progresivos, que ellos no paran de escribir y no paran de lanzar cosas, que es terrible. No paran de trabajar, que es lo que decía. Les encanta producir música. ¿Cómo?
El sonido acústico que lograron es muy bueno.
Es increíble. Sí. The acoustic sound is really incredible. It's incredible, the acoustic sound.
Really thank you.
Pero es una banda que está permanentemente trabajando, buscando todo el tiempo la manera de tener más seguidores y de encontrar más gente, así que se nota que no paran. Y lo que les estaba diciendo, sí.
Sí, él es cantante, ¿no?
Sí.
Puedes preguntar cómo trabaja las melodías de voz, porque es mucho lo que la mueve, digamos.
Sí, we have some specific question for the vocals. How do you work with vocals? Because you are very dynamic, you know. How do you produce that?
Well, I guess it's hard because I didn't really get any any sort of professional training when I only recently have I started doing professional training just to improve upon what I already know. I sort of taught myself how to sing, but when we go into the studio, I guess Dean's an amazing vocal producer, so he knows how to get the best out of everyone. It's not always what you want to hear though. So sometimes he can be very, very honest, and sometimes it's not what you want to hear, and it hurts. Do you know what I mean? So, but what it does do is it puts you in a position you can sing better than you thought you could. So he's been a pinnacle role in improving something that I didn't know I could be better at. He's made me better than I thought I could possibly be as a vocalist. So he would push me to the point of breaking just to get the right sound for any songs that we would do. If I was struggling with a particular song, he would put me in a position where I would be in an emotional wreck just so we could get the right vocal sound. And we're both understanding that this is just for the song. It's not like he's trying to hurt my feelings on purpose. It's all about getting the right vibe, the right feelings involved when you're singing. And he's an absolutely brilliant at that. I give him absolute high praise for the amount of times I've been in tears behind the microphone just so we can get the right sound vocally for those particular songs we'd be working on. And it just makes you better as a singer. And that's something that Dean's had a massive influence as a vocal producer for me, behind the microphone, behind the scenes, to improve upon what I thought I wasn't able to improve upon. So yeah, wow. Big props to Dean for that one.
Nice. No, terrible lo que estaba diciendo, y pasa mucho también eso de grabarse, que es lo que venía diciendo, que él hace lo que necesita la canción. Y eso es terrible. Y también le modificó mucho lo que él canta, y lo subió de nivel la canción. Perfecto.
¿Te parece ir con Chaos in the Way?
Sí.
¿Seguimos?
Sí, dale, perfecto. We really love to speak with you. I think that you confirmed. I'm right that you have a really big head, and we can talk about everything. See, we hope that next year we meet again, and we are going to make a reunion with a band from Argentina, you, and a band from Germany, if you like.
Perfect. Happy to. Anytime.
Good. And to
guys,
speak about progressive.
Can I ask a couple of questions for you guys?
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Yeah.
So obviously we're an Australian band. We're trying to branch out and try and do some shows overseas and get some connections with other people in, say, Europe or South America. We really want to meet people that can help us find shows and tours, or just any sort of festivals or things that we could jump on board with. If you guys know anyone that we can speak to in order for us to help, because we know we've got fans over there, and we hear from them all the time, and we want to do our best to go and play these festivals, and we're hungry for it. We just need to speak to the right people so we know we can get on those bills. And if you know anyone who does the festival bills, or anyone in particular that could help us, we would really appreciate it. Maybe we can even meet each other in person, do you know what I mean? So that'd be something I'd really appreciate. If you guys know anyone, please let me know.
Le voy a pasar el contacto de Fugu, Manu, que van a ser buena. Sí, that's why I'm talking.
En inglés.
Sí, obviamente. Sí, cantan los dos en inglés. Sí, I'm going to contact with Fugu, that is the band of my friend that is in Argentina. Maybe you can change date and that kind of things. And with some record labels from Europe. I'm going to send you the links. Of course.
That'd be perfect. Thank you so much. I think the problem is that there's a language barrier. We don't know Spanish, but there's a lot of Spanish listeners. You know what I mean? There's a lot of Spanish listeners that love us, and we want to make sure we reach out to those fans, and we want to see them and play for them. That's all we want. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Sí. We are going to send you some links now, and thank you for your time. We really love to speak with you, and we keep in touch. Okay? Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Raul. Thanks so much, Manuel. Catch you soon. Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
God bless.
Bye.